So today I will be discussing a few different types of chemical reactions, and there's over 1 million different types of chemical reactions, but unfortunately I do not have time to name all of them. So the three that I will be talking about today are synthesis, decomposition, and combustion. So the first type of reaction that I will be discussing is the synthesis reaction, so let's get started. So you can see here that I've written that two simple create one complex. And this means that when you have two simple compounds, such as sodium and chlorine, they will combine to make one more complex compound, such as sodium chloride, also known more commonly as table salt. So the next type of reaction that I will be discussing is the combustion reaction. So why don't I get started? So you can see that I've written down that it's similar to synthesis, and the reason I wrote this is because combustion is typically when one compound will react with oxygen to make a slightly more complex compound, and that might sound familiar because that's what we just talked about with synthesis. So typically the products that will be created in a combustion reaction are CO2 and H2O, more commonly known as carbon dioxide and water. And so an example that I've written down here is that carbon plus oxygen will create carbon dioxide. So the final type of reaction that I will be discussing is the decomposition reaction. So I have written down that decomposition is the opposite of synthesis, and when I say this, I mean that synthesis is typically when you have two simple reactants that will form to create one complex compound, and that will be your product, but decomposition is the exact opposite, when you have one complex compound that will break down or decompose into two or more simple compounds. So an example of this is that aluminum oxide right here will break down to form aluminum and oxygen, its base components. Thank you for watching.